like no people, no energy, no break. We got to keep this going so it could be enforced inside the schools, throughout the communities, phone calls, task force on how we do it, but keep these big meetings going.
How many people agree with that one? So I just want to put it back on folks here too, right? Like, our ability to keep the energy going and to regularly put stuff out and keep these campaign movements depends on the folks in this room building the campaigns through the task forces, right? That's why we're restructuring and shifting the energy in PCAP so that it's more engaged on a regular basis with folks, the grassroots, to sort of to guide where we're going. So it's connected to all of us going back and forth on that. Okay.
And so I guess the next one we're going to talk about is charter accountability. Don't make me call on y'all.
Well, one thing that came out of Group 3, among all the campaigns, but it really came out on the charter school, was making sure that we're breaking down information and using our website, the Facebook, as an information resource for people, so that all these campaigns are doing, we can really break down the issues and give people information that way.
Okay. Give me, is that a hand back there?
I got a short piece.
Okay.
As far as holding accountable to charter schools, we just feel like anything else. We know they got a probation period, but we should hold them accountable to that probation period before anything else allocated that's taken away from others that really, struggling to get the same thing that someone is given.
Okay, one more. All right.
One of the things that we talked about was making sure that we bust that myth bubble and make sure people understand a charter school doesn't mean magic bullet, and it's not any better or any worse. You think you're being sold a guarantee that your child's going to make it, and that might be a charter school that's actually failing. So we need to make sure that we communicate that to parents.
Don't proceed.
The charter schools that are currently been in operation for the last 5 to 10 years, I think some of them have been under investigation by the FBI, and there's been a lot of money and resources that have been misappropriated, and I think they should, the SRC, the school district, that should close down those charter schools and reallocate it to those of us who want a new charter school or a community school, because I think it's unfair to close down the schools that exist in the neighborhood that are actually operating in the best interest of the students in the community. And then the charter school operators that are only in it for profit, they're only profiteering off of the community, and they're not really, they don't have a vested interest in the community. So I think we need to take a magnifying glass and look at that more closely.
All right, just because we're short on time a little bit, how about for the funding campaign, whether it's the city or statewide, around the funding fight?
We need to hold our churches, the communities, like our communities support these corner stores. They go in these churches and pay tithes and help the churches. I think they should give back to the community and help these children, because in September we have to be getting books for our children because they're not going to have money for books and supplies. So we should start on the community and these businesses to step up, because we support them, they need to support us.
Yeah, someone brought up an argument that just the public doesn't know how limited the resources are. They think they're math books and that there's paper, and there's actually not. So just thinking about it on that level.
Incorporating it. Good. Is someone who hasn't spoke already?
Well, in our breakout group, we came up with some concrete
Can you speak a little louder?
Yeah. In our breakout group, we came up with some very concrete suggestions for increasing city funding. And one tactic that AFSCME used about 2 months ago was they packed city council chambers and shouted down the mayor. And once this movement gets big enough, we need to do that. We need to get behind some concrete proposals for increasing tax collection in the city and show that we support them by, packing city council chambers and raising some help.
Right.
So how many people felt like they had enough time? Who wants this to be the last conversation we have like this. All right, so because we knew this would happen tonight, right? We know we need to keep this stuff going. We need to build it. Ron's going to come up next to talk about next steps and how we sort of continue this. We all agree that this is a starting point, right? We wouldn't all be here if there wasn't a movement that was being built in Philly around public education and economic justice. That's why we're here. So let's just turn it over to Ron real quick to sort of wrap it up and talk about how the next steps are going to work out.
Okay, we're going to do two things. First, we have a list of upcoming events. Bill's going to hand out copies so everybody has that before you go. Then we're going to break down by task force to meet very briefly so you know who's chairing the task forces and you know when the next meeting is and you can sign up so we can keep you in touch in terms of what's going on with the task forces. So in terms of the upcoming events, I know everybody wants to make announcements. We don't have time, so I'm just going to we have it written down. I'm just going to briefly highlight a few things. SRC meeting is tomorrow. There's still Stanton School. They're trying to close it. We should be out there in solidarity with the folks from that community to stop that school closing. 419, there's a future of Germantown High School, the building. The school has been closed, but there's still the question of what to happen with that building. It's at First United Methodist Church in Germantown. It's 6001 Germantown Avenue, 4 to 5 p.m. Good Neighbors Lunch. You talked about in the funding. One of our pushes is to go after the big mega profits to get them to pay their fair share. On 4/23, the Good Neighbors campaign is going to be launched 4 p.m. outside the mayor's office. A couple events connected with what we're calling the SRC 19. Those of us who managed to get caught locking the doors at the SRC, allegedly, but we're saying we're innocent and we're going to trial. And on 4/27,
Ron, where is that?
what's that? I'll tell you what. Give me a minute, Lisa. 4/27 at my house, 5730 Reach Street, which is in Longcrest. If you ever heard of that, it's right above Olney. It's sort of in the crotch of the city where the northeast and the northwest come together. Come on out. We're going to drink. We're going to eat food and pass the hat to raise money because a lot of the SRC 19 are broke. They're low-income folks, and we want to raise money in the off chance we're convicted. We'll need some money. The court date, then I'm getting to that. On May Day, the PCAPS is being honored. May Day, it's the historic day of the labor movement. There's from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. at Elmwood Park. There's going to be the May Day celebration at 71st and Buis, and PCAPS and the SRC 19 are being honored.
Southwest Philly.
Then at Southwest Philly, you got it, brother. And on 5/2, we're going on trial. That's 11:30, room B03 at the Criminal Justice Center, 13th and Filbert. So if you can come out and join us, we'll have some fun there. We're going to put the SRC on trial. May 4th, very important, is Anissa here, and Sam. The TAG is having its curriculum fair and citywide summit. PCAPS is participating in this. The whole focus of the afternoon is around the school crisis and the very issues we talked about tonight. PCAPS will be there participating in that afternoon session in the workshops. So we want to, Nissa has some literature about it and it's on here. And that's going to be at the FACS, the
223 Carroll Hill.
Right, on Carroll Hill Street. All right, May 7th, Youth United for Change Award. They're honoring PCAPS too, and Randy Weingarten is going to be there. So that's going to be at Kensington High School, 1901 North Front Street, 6 to 8. Come on out, support Youth United for Change. You know, almost at every demonstration, there they were, the first ones out in the street, right? The Youth United for Change, PSU, Juntos, they really led this fight. Us old folks got inspired by that. May 18th, citywide conference on community schools. The details on that aren't yet clear, so stay tuned. We'll be doing a whole lot to build that. And finally, May 30th, Jobs with Justice has its Solidarity Awards, and they're going to honor PCAPs as well. That's 530, 1319 Locust Street. So those are the upcoming events, and there's other stuff that the task forces will be doing that will be developing. So let's meet briefly by task force. Tim had to go. I'm going to sort of head up the charter school task force here. So people interested in the charter task force, come on up here. In that corner, we're going to have community schools. Yvette and Quenisha will be there to talk about signing you up for that. And funding, Aaron and Gwen are going to be over there in that corner. So, as we've said all night, the idea is to get involved. So please go to one of those corners, sign up. We're not going to meet tonight, but you'll find out when the next meeting is.
Funding is where I'm going.
Yes, that's it.
You got it here. Clipboard. Somebody has a clipboard with the charter school accountability.
Funding was one. Everybody signed it. That's a petition.
I'm doing funding over on this side.
I think the community schools is over here, right?
I'm doing funding. I think it's over
Friday the 19th.
Okay.
First United Methodist.
I'm doing funding.
Okay, great, thanks.
Yes or no?
Anybody on funding? Yeah, funding.
Make sure you print legibly so I can read your
Okay, no funding.
Keep it.
We've already met with the school of Dr. Height. We've already met with the SRC members to try to convince them that the way to go, as opposed to school closures. This is a